Plaintiff Jennifer Fleming dated the defendant, and she agreed to let the defendant and her 14-year-old son stay with her for 4 weeks. But problems started when the 4 weeks turned into 6 months. Jennifer claims as a result of living together, their relationship fell apart, and she's suing her ex today for breach of contract and court costs. Defendant Laura Smith says things were great between her and Jennifer when they started dating, but everything changed after they moved in together. Laura claims Jennifer became distant and was always on edge, and she insists she doesn't owe her anything.
Start with you.
Well, I met Laura in May of 2016. We dated for a couple months, and she wanted to move closer to where I lived. There was more job opportunities for her.
Where's that? I know a lot of people want to come there.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. I mean, it's relatively speaking.
We're trying to keep people out. Where are the jobs? Where do you live where the jobs are?
It's Hendersonville, North Carolina. Trust, there's
Is
not a
that
lot
near
of jobs.
Charlotte? Where's that near?
It's a couple hours west of Charlotte, near Asheville.
Okay. All right. Nice mountain area.
It's mountains, yeah.
Beauty, so they can get a job and a beautiful part of the country.
I guess so, yeah.
All right, so that's where I'm going when I retire.
All right. Okay.
And you can't keep me away. So she wanted to come because there was job opportunity and there was you.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
So the agreement was I would let her, temporarily stay with me till she got on her feet. She's got a 14-year-old son. He's 15 now. And 4 weeks turned into 6 months.
Did you ask her to pay you at any point? Was there an agreement on?
No, there wasn't an agreement on that. I know she was a single mom, and
How did it go, those 6 months?
It was 4 months.
it was terrible.
It was 4 months.
4, okay,
Oh, it
why?
was 4? Felt like 4 years.
And so what was so bad?
It was like instant family. I mean, she had a 14-year-old
Good.
son, and it was too much. I couldn't breathe in my own house.
What do you mean?
It was like constant. Like I couldn't have free time for myself to relax.
Did you have another room?
Yeah. But when you have a 14-year-old kid, they're knocking on the door. Mom, Mom.
If you go in the other room to get some private time or to watch a separate program,
No.
the kid is going to come knock on the door.
Yes.
Is that true?
If I'm in there, yes.
No, if you're in there by yourself, the kid comes and knock on the door.
He might, yeah.
My point is, you sound like it was problematic to have your girlfriend there living with you because her son was the one who was interrupting your quiet time. Because I couldn't believe that your girlfriend who's moved in with you would be too much of an interruption. And if she is, you just go in the next room or whatever. I did that a couple nights ago. My wife, I went in the other room. She came back in there. I went back in the other room.
Okay.
Until she figured out that I was trying to watch my own program. But that's normal for, I think, couples.
Yes.
However, but you're saying the son is the one was problematic.
I love her son. But I had never lived with a kid.
Okay.
I love kids, but I never lived with a child,
Yeah, I can see
especially
some
a
other
boy.
things. Lay out.
And I'm sitting down on the cold toilet seat because he can't put the seat back
All
down.
right, I got it. Okay. And secondly, I guess loud music, everything that comes with a teenager. Got it.
Yes, just a
You weren't
teenager.
ready. Now you can say that. I don't know about
Okay.
interrupting you, but everything that comes with a teenager,
Yes.
if you aren't ready for it, yes, it
Correct.
becomes problematic. All right. You say it was 4 months and not 6.
Yes, sir.
What do you tell me about any problems you had during the relationship?
When we first met in June, things were great. I loved her personality. She was so good with my son. Everything I've wanted in a partner. She stepped up to the plate as a parent. She was great disciplining him where I would let him get away with things. When I shouldn't, she would step in. My son would be at his dad's for like 2 weeks at a time, and we would spend pretty much all that time together. And then we moved in August. And that's when everything changed.
How so?
She was very distant, just not very talkative, just always on edge.
How long after moving in did she become that way?
Maybe mid-August.
So that's what, 2 weeks after moving in?
Maybe almost 3 weeks.
Okay, so did you mention it to her? Did you say, what's up?
I did.
You seem like you switching up on me.
Yeah, I did.
What'd she say?
She said it was stress from a job that she was working on.
Okay.
Which it was.
And I understand that she's a contractor. I get it. So I was patient. And then 2 weeks later, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, like another month. And it was taking its toll on me because I felt like we were roommates opposed to partners. So I confronted her again and, wanting to know what I could do different to maybe try and help the situation, or did I need to maybe find another place to go?
Okay, but you asked what you could do different.
And she informed me that she did not want that. She wanted me to just be patient with her, and she was trying. And at this point, it was my child, and I get that. I do get it. It's hard.
Sounds to me as if that was the primary issue. If you moved out with your son, it wouldn't be a problem. You'd come over every day, every night, or whatever, see each other 3 times a week, weekends or whatever.
She couldn't afford to
did
move
that
out.
ever come up?
It did at the end. When I had first moved, I was trying to find a job. It took a little over a month before I
So how'd
started
you all break up if you moved out and you all were still together when you moved out?
I felt like she just didn't want to be in a relationship.
Do you have any idea why that might be?
No, I know I was going through a lot too. My sister was murdered in 2010, and we were going through the appeal process. His last appeal last year was granted. So, but she was very supportive through that, very.
And how long had you all been together before moving in?
Oh, it was just a couple months.
Yeah.
And I felt bad. She's a single mom.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try and help her out, but then it just became too much.
And see, that's what happens, in my opinion, when people rush. And I think a couple of months is rushing. You don't really know each other. And so you didn't know that she was having some problems in her life. She didn't know that you were having some, and that you were stressed out, and that a teenage son would stress you out. Had you all been together, say, for a year, you'd have a solid basis for love. Right. And when you have a foundation, all the problems you all come together and face. But if you don't have a foundation based on love, then and knowing each other, then the little problems like that the relationship is gonna crumble very shortly thereafter, and it sounds like that's what happened.
It is.
But having that understanding, maybe you all can just resume dating and then let things happen. No? Yeah. She's looking like, hey, hecky no. This is your girlfriend currently?
No. I don't know. I am single.
Yeah. What's wrong?
No, that's not my girlfriend.
All right. That's your girlfriend?
No.
Well, then you all can get together.
We could, in theory.
What's the problem?
Lie.
What's the problem?
I don't know. There was so much damage.
No, that's done. What's the problem with trying to have a fresh start?
I'm dating someone now. So.
I didn't say that. But she ain't about nothing. You better go on back to her. She ain't nice as you, is she?
Never.
Right, she can't touch you.
No.
You downgraded.
She did. She did.
You better go back home.
She did.
Tell me why you suing her.
In between May and December, there was a series of loans that were made to her. I helped her get the apartment so she could move out, paid her car payment, insurance, those kind of things. We had an arrangement where she would pay me as she could per paycheck. I mean, I know she's a single parent, and I know that's a struggle. That's tough. And so I just said, just pay me as you can. And then she stopped paying and finally said, I'm not going to pay you a dime. She did.
Ma'am, did you tell her that?
I did.
You've committed what they call an anticipatory breach of contract. That is a legal theory that allows a person to sue and collect a debt prematurely.
Even before
the deadline, because they can anticipate. They don't have to wait until you breach. You've already told her. You've already said, I ain't giving you a dime. Next year, the year after that, zero, ever. So what's she supposed to wait until forever to sue you?
No,
She sued you right now. You've told me you're not going to pay me, huh? Okay, now I have to sue you.
She did.
No, we made an agreement after that.
So
We
you
were not
did come
talking.
back and say, I will pay you. That
Yes.
was your final agreement was, I will pay you. Is that true?
I don't think so.
All right, prove that.
Yeah.
I have my word.
Oh, your word
That's
ain't
a
no
lie.
good. You told her you weren't.
See?
You told her you weren't gonna pay her.
She did.
That's not a lie.
That is a lie.
not a
It's
lie.
a lie.
After
What's not a lie?
No. What she's saying, they made an agreement. She gave her.
You stand up and
I'm
state
sorry.
your
I'm
name.
sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize.
State your name.
My name is Tina Williams.
And what happened, Tina? The last agreement. That's what I need to know about.
After Miss Thing run her mouth, they did come back and make an agreement. She would give her over the summer, okay, to get as much money as she possibly can to get it paid
This
off
was
in
a verbal
August.
She's talking
agreement?
like
Yes.
this, like there's a pile
do
of
you
money
know?
somewhere.
I'm very
Where's
expressive.
that money?
I'll talk how I want to talk. I use my hands.
I talk with my hands as well, so
but
we're
they
together.
did
on
make an
that.
agreement that she would give her over the summer, okay, to help her
How do
because
you
she
know?
just started back to work.
How do you know of this agreement?
I didn't hear the agreement, but I believe her. I've known her.
Okay.
She told
Sit
you
down.
I helped raise
on now.
her.
Blondie,
You have
sit
something
down.
you want to say, ma'am?
Blondie, sit
Like,
down.
oh, stand up
Please.
like you know
Blondie,
something's going
sit
on.
down. I have nothing to say.
Sit down like she said, Mom.
I'm sorry. Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Come on, stand up. State your
How
name. You
can
done
you
took
make
over
a
my
state-
courtroom telling people when to sit down. So tell what you want to tell me.
State your name.
My name is Debbie.
What do you want me to
Fury.
know?
How can she make a statement like that when she says, I'm taking her word? I mean,
I can make it. Do I need to stand up
hearsay.
again?
Hearsay does not hold up in court.
Ma'am, talk to me.
Sorry.
Hearsay.
Your Honor, hearsay does not hold
Hearsay.
up in court.
In small
As-
claims.
in
Listen
small
to me,
claims-
counsel. In small claim, it's at the discretion of the judge whether he or she wants to accept evidence that's hearsay. And the reason behind that is that you all, in small claim courts, you don't have lawyers. And so
Right
you're
here.
not expected, you say right here. So you're not expected to be able to know the exceptions to hearsay. So as a result, the judge can listen and he can say, well, okay, I'll accept that hearsay. Or he or she can say, no, I'm not going to accept that hearsay. And so I want to accept her hearsay. I like her.
Oh.
The way she talked, what I see there,
Mate.
throw her hands up. She's nice and polite. Come on now.
I would like.
Mama,
I would like.
Mama, what?
nothing.
I'm fine.
I
We're
would
fine.
like to let you know the reason why I put my trust in her. Her sister, who was murdered. Her sister was murdered on my daughter's birthday. Her sister and my daughter have been best friends since elementary school. I have known her and her family since before elementary school. She has lived with me. Her sisters live. My daughters live with them. Okay? I would bet my life on her. That's how much I trust her, and that's why I say
Takes a
I
little-
believe her.
All right, takes a little more than betting. So, I say I like you. I like your personality and
Thank
your
you.
expression.
I like
However,
you
I
too.
can't base my judgment on that. So I'm going to grant your judgment. You've admitted to owing. You can't prove that there was a subsequent agreement after you told her you weren't going to pay. Time you said that, you committed anticipatory breach of contract. 1476 is your judgment. Have a good
you.
day, ladies.
I'm glad it's getting paid. I didn't want to take all of her money at once, but she owes me the money.
That's fine. She owes her the money. That's fine. Pay it back. But you know what? Put on your big girl panties. Don't ask somebody to move in or offer to help them if you're going to turn around and stab them in the back like this.